going on, guys? It's Fredwardo here. It's been quite a while since I've uploaded a YouTube video, and here we are. Obviously, the last time we uploaded was in 2017. It's been 3 years, so a lot has changed, and it's not just not just me. The whole world changed in March of 2020, and it still hasn't gone back to normal. So let me just start off by saying thoughts and prayers are with those who are affected by the pandemic, the wildfires. I mean, it just seems like it's just never ending, So sorry if I seem like I'm out of breath. I had to shut, I had to turn off my AC, shut my window because there's someone out there smoking and, hacking up a storm. And I had to turn off all my fans because they interfere with my audio a lot. And I'm wearing a little earpiece. I'm not sure if it's going to help me or anything. And it's close to being 1 o'clock right now in the morning. So if it sounds like I'm whispering, that's why. And hopefully it doesn't affect it. I mean, I get that a lot of people want you for my voice. Yes, my famous voice. But so anyway, so right now I'm going to talk about some things that have been happening to me. This one is kind of trivial, funny, whatever you may say. Here's a bit of a trigger warning, and I'm going to put it, in the description and in the title. So I'm going to be talking about insects, and in particular in the arachnid family. So if that's something that triggers you, I suggest you probably wait for my next video. It's gonna be a little, I would say a little bit off topic of the whole insect arachnid thing, but I was thinking of shooting this one before just to get the juices flowing because it's been a while since I taped the videotape, and I'm not sure if I'm looking at the camera right, and this is the first time I'm actually using the rear-facing camera, so hopefully you guys enjoy. So getting back to the spider story, it is a spider story. So I work in the place in Irvine, in all of California. It's all sorts of wildlife. Living in Orange County, the first time I ever saw a skunk was in Orange County. The first time I saw a raccoon, a possum, a friggin' mountain lion, a coyote, all of the above. The first time I saw one in real life was here in Orange County. And growing up, I thought those things were like far away from everything. No, they're here. I mean, vultures and coyotes and hawks and falcons, ospreys, all that stuff, that's all here, man. We're all part of the same ecosystem. That also includes our smaller friends, rats and lizards, and even smaller friends than that, insects such as ants, roaches, and spiders. So here's my story. So I have to go into work every day pretty much at around the same time, and it's been dry and it's been fiery, a lot of smoke lately, and it's driving a lot of animals to do all sorts of stuff that they probably never normally do. At my work, I've seen about half a dozen different kinds of animals probably the last couple days. I was eluding a skunk on Wednesday, and on Thursday I was making sure that there wasn't a possum on board, because I did see one lurking around, and they like to get themselves in the tight area, so I try to check every day. But today we're going to focus on smaller guys. So here it is. So the protocol when when you're a bus driver, you go in, and if you're the last person to see that bus, it doesn't matter if it's 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. You're supposed to shut the doors and shut all the windows. At the very least, the door. This particular bus, whoever the driver or whoever it was that operated it before that, didn't do that. So you can imagine the things that could go in there. At 4:30 in the morning, there's nothing, and there's no light. And so, whatever it is, there is some sort of floodlighting there to kind of guide us. Hey, it's not too dark. But this particular section of buses, it's along a stretch of the wall, what they call the wall the Sand Canyon wall, they actually call it. And on this stretch of the Sand Canyon wall, there is 1 or 2 lights, and that's it. You have to get almost right on to the bus, the back of the bus, to see what the bus number is, because we get specific ones. Because right now with the COVID-19, they all are sanitized at different times, different places, and if we don't take the one we are assigned, it is probably likely that it's not clean, it's not sanitized, and it's a health issue. So anyway, what happened was I walk into it and it's dark, you know. Your mind begins to wander, but you have to keep focused. Like, hey, you know what? You're out here. There's all sorts of animals that could be out here, but you know you're human. You're on top of the food chain, so you just have to be calm and collected, and just think that there's just cute little possums, you know, out here. All you do is just hiss. Just leave them alone. So anyway, I get to my bus. I open it. Everything's cool, you know. It's dark inside. The first thing you do is check the lights. So I turn on the bus. I put all the lights on and turn it on. Okay, everything's cool. Nice, nothing. Okay, so the protocol is you're supposed to check the inside first, check the outside, check your brakes, check your mirrors. Obviously, I do all that. So this particular morning, I was checking the inside, but there was something that caught my eye. And I am very keen sense about this, and I'll get into it in a sec. So as I'm going, you know, I go through the front row. There's a divider there. Basically, it's just like a plastic chain link fence or whatever the heck they call it. And that separates us in social distancing, you know. It's a chain link fence, and that's pretty much all that separates me and the passengers. It's about 8 to 10 feet away from anybody, really. This detail is kind of important because the next set of seats, you know, I typically go and check the emergency exits, which all you do is you pull the handle and you push, and then they let it slam back, and you'll know that it's successful when it slams back and you can't open it again with that same force. So that's what I end up doing. But this time I did it in reverse. Something called to me to do it on the right. And thank God I did, because had I not seen what I saw, I might have been, you know, covered in bug bites. So I did the right first for some reason. I never do it like that. I always meticulously do the same thing how I was taught, left to right. So this time I did it on the right, just thinking, oh, you know what, whatever. As I turn around, I start to see this thing in the corner of my eye. I'm like, what the heck is this? And it's a very elaborate web, almost invincible, even in the light. Can you imagine in the darkness, someone coming in there in the dark and they just sit down, all of a sudden so anyway, so getting back to the whole story, I have a keen sense of seeing where spider webs are. Maybe my eyes are just good like that, even especially in the dark. It's absolutely almost invincible how perfect they're made. These spiders, man, they're just little engineers. So anyway, so this particular spider, it's not my first rodeo seeing these spiders, so I see it, and it's just kind of there, and it's kind of doing this little web thing. It's creating a little bit more of the web. Now, I noticed there's something else, you know, in its web, and it's not anything I've ever seen. I usually see their prey that have, you know, already been sucked dry of their life, and this time it wasn't that. It was something, it looks like a little tiny bag, like a microscopic. Obviously I can't see microscopic, but you know what I mean. And how do I describe this without triggering everybody? It was a horde of little tiny spiders. So, you know, I know a lot of people probably by now they're thinking, oh my god, no. So what do? I have my gloves on, and I basically squish it. I mean, I had to squish it because these things can bite and people are allergic. And yeah, I squish it. I mean, I'm the spider guy. Everyone says, hey, there's a spider there. Can you kill it? Oh, sure. How'd you do it with your bare hands? I don't know. I mean, I'm just not scared of this stuff, and I'm allergic to their bites. So anyway, that's my story. So I come into the bus, do my things kind of in reverse. And had it not been for that, my head would have been into the web, a very, very intricate web. And I would have been covered in spider bites, I'm sure, you know, and I would have been having to go to urgent care. And, you know, it's nothing too serious. It just really makes me itchy. And sometimes it makes it hard to breathe, but it's like not life-threatening. It's just like, you know, when people have an allergic reaction, it's not always going to be like really bad. For me, the penicillin allergy that I have, it is very life-threatening. So that's something that I take care of. I make sure that whatever medicine I get prescribed, it doesn't have penicillin, and I make sure that the doctors know. But with the spider bites, I mean, the allergy, it makes me itchy. It's very uncomfortable, but I can still, you know, go on with my life. And once I get home, take some Benadryl or whatever I need to do. And that's it for my story for that particular time. So there's another time that I was obviously, here I am, bus driving, you know, driving down to Newport Beach, thinking I'm so cool, my Ray-Bans on, and, you know, I'm at a light, and I see something in the corner of my eye, and, right above where I am, there's like a hatch that acts kind of like an air vent, like you can pull up, and it'll vent the air and pull down, and it also acts, obviously, primarily as an emergency exit, wherein, God forbid, the bus tips over on its side, you can escape the bus via that vent. So it's an emergency exit. You go boom, and you push it up and out into the roof, and then you can escape from there. I mean, God forbid you have to use it, but I know how to use it. So the thing is that I kept seeing this thing, like a corner of my eye kept going like this. if you think you know where this is going, you're absolutely right. So there I am, just at the light, and I'm just minding my business, looking left, right, left again, as they always, you know, tell us to do. And, you know, I'm thinking, man, I'm feeling good, you know, I'm almost off. And I got 3 or 4 passengers, and I'm just sitting there pretty. The next thing I know, you know, sometimes being at the light a little bit, I just try to like wipe my eyes, because, you know, I get sweaty, and then when the sweat gets into my eyes, it stings. So I try to like get it before it gets to that, you know. So I take off my glasses, and I notice, what the heck is this? There's string on it. And, you know, string, you know, fabric, I always think, well, I got caught in something. My vest is made of, like, a cloth. So, on my utility vest, it could have gotten caught, and it was just a big, long thing, you know. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, why is it, like, floating? And I'm thinking, well, the air is on, so maybe, you know, it's lighter than the air. That's when I noticed that the string actually went to the air vent, and I'm thinking, there's no way. And when you know it, there's a spider coming down about this close to my eyeball, and it had made itself somehow, some way onto the lens of my Ray-Bans, and it was the strangest thing, because it kept going up and down. And then I saw it coming down to try to go back in. So it kind of like repelled back onto the bridge of my glasses. And I would never feel it. And it wasn't like, it was a pretty tiny one, but it wasn't like I couldn't see it. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes. It was the same kind of spider that was in the previous story I was talking about. And it was insane, because I had never in my life thought, oh yeah, you know, a spider rappelling down from the air vent on the bus to make its web onto my Ray-Bans, and then back up to, you know, where the air vent is. Like, there was no way, right? Well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. I wish I would have been able to get the video of it, but unfortunately there is a zero tolerance cell phone policy, so it's not like I could whip up my phone and say, hey, yeah, look, you get it, my people on YouTube are gonna love this. No, I couldn't, sorry. By the time I, you know, was able to actually get out of the seat, it was already time for me to head back to base, and I had completely forgotten that there was a spider still making its web on my Ray-Bans. So I took off my glasses and I said, huh, there's something on my Ray-Ban. I'm like, there's ants, you know, obviously everywhere. People eat on the bus and they just are filthy. So anyway, so it wasn't an ant, it was obviously the spider, and I had to kill it, unfortunately, because, well, you know, it's either me or him, and you know, obviously it's gonna be me, you know. So that's my Ray-Ban spider story, and if you're not creeped out by that, then I mean, I'm not creeped out by it, but I just like telling my spider stories because I feel like they're so interesting. People think, oh yeah, I mean, I've had stuff happen to me at work, but never like that. It's like, well, I had spiders all over here and there and everywhere. So this final spider story that I'm going to tell you is so appropriate because I was talking to my sister-in-law and we were talking about they're, you know, having, you know, our mask on, and we're like, yeah, sometimes I feel like there's a hair in my mask, and it makes it seem like there's a spider in there. And I'm like, yeah, I know, wouldn't that be something? I didn't want to tell her because my fiance and my sister-in-law, they freak out on stuff like this. But let me tell you, when I took off my mask, there was a spider in there tickling my little whiskers. And I don't know how much more detail I can go into. I mean, I'm sitting there driving the bus, and I always get a tickle because sometimes I don't shave because it's just too much, man. It's too much. I have a lot of stress from having to deal with the COVID stuff, that I wear my mask. And also, by the way, please wear your mask, okay? The science is there. And I'm wearing my mask, and times are tough, man. You just gotta go with it. And I'm just there saying, well, you know, it gets washed with all sorts of stuff. Sometimes my hair falls out and then, you know, gets caught. And so, you know, that's probably what it was. Because I always have to take it off on my break and just, you know, be like, okay, there's the hair that I thought I had with there. But this time I was just like compelled because it just kept going like this. You know, I was like, well, you know, I'm moving it around. Like, I like to jostle my mouth a little bit because, you know, having it like this the whole time, I mean, it's kind of stupid, even though no one could see it. So I try to, you know, go like that. So all of a sudden I feel it just going up and down here. And, you know, I get to my break, and I'm like, well, there it is. It wasn't a hair this time. Luck of the draw, it was a spider. And this all happened within... This spider story that I just told you happened this week. And then the spider story from the second one happened 2 weeks ago. And then the last one happened about 3 months ago. So all this happened during quarantine, or the lockdown, or whatever you want to call it. So it's been quite an adventure. Now, there's plenty of other stories, but this is all just part of the animal series that I'm going to start, because I have a lot of animal things that happen on the bus, and just I feel like starting small here, you know, getting back into the rhythm of making this video. So if you're still creeped out, and you still want more creepiness, or if you just want wholesome stuff too, because there's a lot of wholesome stuff that I see animal wise. So I'm going to do another video about that too. Now my next video that I'm going to post is going to be paranormal ghost stuff. So if you like this and you want to see more of this, please leave a like and subscribe. I came back to 32 subscribers and I only had 10 when I left. So thanks very much. And I noticed that my video on the paranormal got a lot of hits. A lot of people were talking. So I really appreciate all you guys' feedback. So I'm going to get back to all you guys as soon as I can. And I really appreciate you guys taking your time listening to my little spider stories. They're probably pretty dumb, but I think they're interesting little things. You know, the things that happen to us, they happen for a reason. And you just got to keep going. And I'm going to be praying for all you guys to be safe. It's a lot of stuff going on out there right now, you know, pandemic, wildfires. Shout out to all the first responders. They're doing just the best. I mean, these are heroes. I mean, people always tell me I'm a hero. I'm not a hero. I just wake up and I put one foot in one sock and one shoe just like everyone else. The real heroes out there are those first responders, firefighters, paramedics. They're the ones that put themselves out on the line to try to save people who are sick and dying, and especially right now that they're not able to have family members with them. They're able to share moments with their family members via Zoom or any other camera or video related system. So I'm really glad that the first responders have a lot of sympathy for a lot of the things that are happening right now. So that's shout outs for them. So please be safe out there, and we're gonna be doing a lot of these series because there's a lot of free time because, you know, COVID-19. So please stay safe out there, wear your mask, keep your distance, and I'll see you all in the next video, okay? Take care of yourselves and each other. Jerry Springer.